Hey developers, welcome to Code Connect. In today's video, we are going to see variables in C++. We will be also looking into data types in C++. So let's start with what are variables in C++. So variables are containers for storing data values. So if we understand this definition, it means that variables are containers. So there are a lot of containers, and in the containers we can store values, and and those containers are called variables, and we can name those containers in order to access them in the future. So if we want to create that container, if we want to store value in that container and name that container, the syntax is basically the type, variable name, and the value. So the type means the data types, the container contain which type of value. So we already specify this variable name contains this type of values. So we can specify int here, we can specify float, double, string, characters, like all these things. These are data types which we will be looking in the next phase. So this is how we can declare variables in C++. And if we see some of the examples here, you can see the example here, int age equals to 25. So here it has created one container, one box, we can say one box, in which it has placed number 25 and name it as age. So there is in the memory there is one block present in which 25 is present, and we can access that block using the name of that variable age. Similarly, we can create another type of variable which can store floating point values, floating numbers, and you see, we have added this 36.6. We can have a character data type, character variable, in which you can store characters. Now we have seen this is how we can declare variables. We can create our own custom variables, and there are different type of declarations. So let's suppose if we want to declare multiple variables of same type, so we can declare them in the same line, and we can also specify value in those as well. There's another way, if we want, we can declare those variables and we can assign the values laterwards. And if we want to assign same value to those variables, we can use this part, this syntax. Understood? So now we will be also looking at, there is a const keyword in C++. So if we declare variables using that keyword, we can't change its value later in the program. If we try to change it, compiler will throw an error. So now every language has some rules for naming variables. So C++ also has rules. So we need to understand those rules in order to name our variables. Otherwise, compiler will throw error. So let's look at the first rule. Names can contain letters, digits, and underscores. So as it's clearly names can have letters, digit, and underscores. And second rule is saying name must begin with a letter or an underscore. So it can't begin with digit, but it can begin with letters or underscores. Names are case sensitive, meaning myvar and myvar are different variables. Names cannot contain white spaces or special characters like exclamation mark, hashtag, percentage, etc. Also, there are some reserved keywords in C++, and we can't use those keywords or those words to name our variables, such as integer, float. All these things cannot be used as names. So this is about variables. Let's see about data types. What are data types in C++? So as we have seen, while declaring variables, we are we need to specify which data type it should be having. It should the variable contains, variable is of which data type. So C++, so if we see the definition here, data type defines the type of value a variable can store in memory. So yeah, it's understandable, not some rocket science. Now there are different categories of data types. There are basic data types, there are primitive data types, there are user defined data types. So if we see about the primitive data types, these are integer, character, float, boolean, double. And if you see, for float, there is a precision value here, 6 to 7, or for double the precision value is 25. So what is precision value? So precision value is the number of digits we can have after the decimal. So if we see in the above this example, there is only one value after the decimal. So its precision is 1 basically. So with the float data type, a variable can have a precision up to 6 to 7. and with double we can have 15. So it's better to use double data type while declaring like decimal values, because like it will be much efficient and like will minimize error things in calculations, something like that. Now there are derived variables, which are functions, arrays, pointer, references, so which are derived from primitive variables. So like we can have array of integers, we can have array of characters, floats, doubles, bool. Similarly for pointer, like so what are pointers? So pointers in C++ are basically the address of the variable. So as we have discussed, we have created one age variable. We have allocated a memory box in which we are storing 25. Now each box has some memory address. This is similar to the house. So in the house, like each house has some address. Similarly in C++, in programming languages, each memory box has some address. So pointer basically stores that address. So let's suppose the age is having address, let's say suppose example 3187. So the pointer will store that value of 3187, and we can access that value using the asterisk operator. So if we apply asterisk and the name of the pointer, then it will print the value which is pointed by that pointer. So similarly references are also same things. And user defined, there are struct, class, enum, union. We will be seeing this all these examples. So if we see the user defined data types are struct, which are basically combination of primitive data types and derived data types. Classes are also similar to that. Enums are also same. Like enums are basically the similar values are being put in the same array or things, something like that. Now let's see the auto keyword in C++. So there is an auto keyword. If we declare variable using that keyword, the C++ compiler automatically detects the type of the value the memory is holding. So if we write auto x equals to 5, x is automatically treated as int. Now these primitive data types are having some sizes. So we can't store like if the value is taking more than that, we can't store those in these data types. So if let's go with them one by one. There's a boolean. It is having 1 byte, means 8 bits can store. So like stores true or false as values. Character also has 1 byte memory. Store single character, letter, number, or ASCII values. Integer has 2 or 4 bytes. Store whole numbers without decimals. So like 2 or 4 bytes, like up to 32 bits memory it can store. Float has 4 bytes and double has 4 bytes. So you can see here store fractional numbers containing 1 or more decimals, sufficient for storing 6 to 7 decimal digits. Similarly, sufficient for storing 15 decimal digits. Now let's go through W3 schools, and we can get more context about these like variables and data types. So in here, like we have discussed, variables are containers for storing data values. There are different types of variables. For example, integers store integers without decimals, such as 1, 2, 3. Double, character, string, boolean. This is the syntax which we have discussed. So like here we have discussed, we printed the value which is stored in this variable. Now where type, let's see this where type is. So yeah, this is the same thing which we have discussed. Okay, so we don't need to look at it again. Yeah, same way, like we have created one variable, we have assigned value. We can also change the name, the value of the variable using this here, like something else, and we can print here. So if we see one example here, you can see here. So if I have assigned, let's suppose I assigned here 20 and then I change it to 30. Let's continue with our thingy. So basically, like we were discussing about the data types, and in the data types we were looking at the characters. So I was saying that in if we declare the variable using characters, then we can also specify ASCII values there as well. So here, like as we already know, 65 is the ASCII value of capital A. So if we search on table and see ASCII table, and if we see here, you can clearly see here. If we go here, you can see here, where is, yeah. So 65A, 66B, 67C, and similarly for 97 it's small a, 98 it's small b. So if we open the web editor and if we change it to 97 and then run, then small a will be printed here. Yeah, okay. So we can add ASCII value here as well. Now let's go to the strings data type. So the string type is used to a sequence of characters. This is not a built-in type, but it behaves like one. Its most basic usage. String values must be surrounded by double quotes. Yeah, okay. And to use string, you must include an additional header file in the source code, the string library. So if we go here, so yeah, in order to use string, we need to include this string, and we are printing this. So like all the operations are defined here for the string part. And we have discussed about the auto keyword, in which the compiler automatically detects the data type of the variable. Like starting with C++11, auto become very powerful way to let compiler figure out the type based on the value you assign. So in this example, you can see all these things. Let's see, there is also a real life example in which they have one int items, its value is 50. They have created double type variable, cost per item, it's 9.99, and total cost, it's total items into the total cost per item, and the currency is dollar, and they are printing, if we see here, number of items, cost per item is, they have added the currency as well here, and total cost. Yeah, so like these are things about data types and variables in C++. You can go through this W3 schools, and I will be like adding more videos for other types, other things in C++. Like we will be going to operators, all these things, enums, arrays, while loop, for loop, all these things we will be going through it, and we will be seeing functions. We will be seeing, we will be covering these concept classes, in which we will be seeing OOPS principles, polymorphism, inheritance, and method overloading, overriding. These things we will be seeing, encapsulations, abstractions, all these things will be see, and later after that we will be covering about topics like vectors, stacks, queues, stacks, maps, iterators, and we will be moving ahead to DSA part, and then we will be start solving real world problems in DSA. Using graph, DP, all these things we will be covering in future videos. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Let's meet in next video. Thank you. Bye.